Morning, everybody. It is March 29th, 8:25 a.m. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. I actually, sorry I didn't do any kind of video yesterday. It was my wife's birthday, so we went to the city, went to Chinatown, had some good food, had a good day. Um, let's get into the market. Let's see what we got going in the watch list of the futures. Start off with Bitcoin. And in Bitcoin, what do we have? Bitcoin's up 3.35%. Crude is up 1.2%. Nasdaq's up 0.85. Russell's up 0.84. ES up 0.79. The Dow is up 0.67. 10-year yields up 0.53. Dollars slightly up 0.2. Bonds being sold, hence the 10-year being up. Gold and silver down. The VIX is down 2.85%. We're dipping below the 20 in the VIX of 19.40. Let's move over to the stocks I like to trade. Coins up 2.68%. Tesla is up 1.45. Google up 1.38. Nvidia up 1.23. The Micron not reporting the best outlook. However, with AI, it's projecting profit, so that's giving sympathy plays to the semis. Boeing, I think, just landed some kind of contract or something like that. I just saw before. That's up 1%. Obviously, AMD is a sympathy play. All right, let's go down to any lagger. Baba, huge day yesterday, down 1.04%. Let's go to top sector stocks. Leading the pack, we got what is that? Exxon, Qualcomm as a semi, right? Followed by Morgan Stanley. Any laggard to speak of? There is none. Okay. This is going to be no surprise here with the sectors. Semis leading the pack up 1.04%, followed by energy. There is no laggard. Okay, no laggard. This market's been pretty much going straight up the whole overnight. So that's what's going on. Now, as far as any kind of data dropping today, let's look at that. Let's look at the data. All right, we have Fed bar testimony at 10 a.m. pending home sales at 10 a.m. and we have crude inventories at 10:30. That's what the data is coming out today is. Any kind of news, let's look at that. Let's talk about that. Let's see. Memory chip maker Micron expects revenue drop. Expects AI to boost sales though in 2025. So that's the big deal with that. Lululemon projects upbeat 2023 on strong demand, easing inventory. So that stock is currently up 16.36% pre-market. Musk talks about urging AI. Let me see if there's any other. Talked about Alibaba. That's split into 6 units. That was why that moved up. I'm just trying to see something that I saw of note. Yeah, that's about all I saw for today that I wanted to speak about. Um, let's go over to the daily chart. All right, so let's look at the daily chart. FOMC anchored VWAPs acting as support. That's the white dots. So market's been unable to go below the last 2 days of the anchored VWAP from FOMC high. All right, so that's acting as support as well as the lows, right? And then these anchor VWAPs are just in a little tangled web. No, they're absolute. They're not moving averages. So average buyer, average seller. So very important. But we're in just the middle of the muddle, right? All these moving averages, still from this high down to this low Fibonacci, we still have not been able to close over the 50%. That's 399. Okay, we're still below that right now. We're at 398.77. We're about right there. about the highs of Monday. So that's what's holding that market in check. Okay. Um, let's look at those Qs. Now the Qs with the anchored VWAP for the FOMC, that's been a little different story because you broke these lows yesterday. And this was resistance, right? The FOMC anchored VWAP. So that's very interesting. And you finally broke a moving average, but then we closed right on the 9 daily EMA, right? So let's just go back to the SPY. I wanted to show you guys something. So let's just take these anchor VWAPs off. We'll go black and white to see everything clear. Okay. So this is what the market's been doing. We've just been in a range. Okay. Battling in between the 50-day moving average, the 100-day, and the 200-day moving average. Okay. Now check this monthly out for the SPY just to show you guys what we've been doing for the month. Look at that doji. That's this month. You can't get any more indecision than this doji. I mean, high and a low, and we're right here. Pretty crazy, right? So just a lot of indecision, right? This market is going to pick a spot eventually, and it's going to be a big move. When? I don't know. Let's look at the Qs. Qs holding up this range. Finally got some selling yesterday. Broke this support, but this could be the fuel to make the move higher now. Because what you did is you took out shorts from the market when you had put that excess in, right? Because they took profit and new buyers probably came in. So all shorts that are in here are going to be on their heels. We'll just have to see what happens though. But there's a lot of big levels in the futures that we need to talk about. All right, let's look at the Dow. All right, the Dow clearly still under this 38.2 Fibonacci. Batted its head against it twice, 2 days in a row, kind of almost two dojis in a row. So Dow is weaker, but the Dow right now is at 326, almost at this resistance level right now. So nice bear flag. I don't put too much weight into patterns like that, but it is. So that's the Dow, right? Now the Russell has been weakest, right? And let's see what the Russell's been doing. So Russell got two little dojis here, right? Has not been able to go above the 23.6 Fibonacci. So that's been resistant, right? But where's the Russell right now? 175. So it's underneath still this key resistance level. So I think I have an alert set there. I'm just going to put one there now. So that'd be a pivotal move in that Russell. So 10-year yield, let's look at that. 10-year yield's making a move, right? So what is the bonds telling us right now? Yields are rising again. Okay, when you go down here, that kind of signals a risk on market when the yields are falling. But now yields are rising again, so it's very interesting. You know, these kind of tell us what's going to happen in the market. This is the smart money bonds. You have to keep an eye on that. VIX. All right, we had tons of volatility up into the 30s. Now we're back down, all the way down to 19.4. Gap down here, all the way down here now, because there's been a pretty decisive move up in the overnight. All right, so that drove the VIX down. Now let's look at that dollar. Dollar's just been, look at these dojis. That's like a sea of dojis, right? Hanging out down here. Really indecisive for the dollar. Okay. All right, let's look at the futures and let's talk about some game plans today, because we have levels to talk about today, because this is like very clear levels to look at. All right, so let's look at those. Hit you with the watch list real quick while I set this up. Let's go into the ES right here. We could probably expand this a little bit. Maybe we can expand it a little more. I So obviously yesterday that I didn't trade, I know we opened and we smashed down these lows, created a demand zone, hit the monthly VWAP. See that? That's the monthly VWAP. So bounced off that. Now look, we were underneath the most traded price of the week. The most traded price of the week is 4,000 on the nose, right here. Okay, you were under that yesterday, but then closed above it, right? But now what happened? The most traded price of the month has now moved here. Okay, what is that price? I'll give you the exact price. Let's just go to this chart where I get that price from. That price is 40.31. That is the most traded price of the rolling month. Okay, 40.31. No surprise. No surprise, because that's been the monster level, right? I've been talking about 40.26, 40.31, so just right in there, right? That's been that key resistance. All right. So this is just ping pong land right now. This is a lot of chop. Okay, price where we at? 40.32 right here. No surprise at the magnet, right? That's what I talk about. These are magnets. These levels, they tend to hold price there. They tend to hold price. So we got most traded price of the month, right? The rolling year, and we have the most traded price of the week right here, right? So yesterday, this is just very strong. You came down, broke these lows, and now the market's all the way up here. Okay, so this is very key for the market. It's a very strong move. Okay, you will get a move whenever you have the month, the most traded price of the month, the most traded price of the week. They're fairly next to each other, and the most traded price of the year, the rolling year. And then so it's a very easy game plan today. Very, very, very easy. Okay. You don't want to be in the middle of this crap because that's going to cause choppiness. Okay, but we could bounce in between these levels. Okay. However, let's clear this up. Let's just look at where we're at. Right, we got a poor high. Do we have a poor? Let me look at that. That's the overnight high. Here's the overnight low. Okay, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. So we got a big gap up. Big gap up, right? But here's the key. Okay, here's the key. We're 100% net long. 100%. That means everybody from yesterday's settlement to close is long. We're at the top third of this overnight session. Okay, you can see the volume here. Okay, so you've been watching me for a while. This is setting it up for a fade. Okay, and what I need to see though, this is one thing that's a little difficult about this fade, is you got monster levels here and you got a demand zone here. That makes me a little hesitant, but I have to talk about it still. Okay, but this is the game plan, right? Big level here. A lot of stuff going on here. Okay. Now, let's talk about the fade because it's there. All right. So what I would look for, and it's going to be tough because of this demand right here. All right. That demand might get smashed, but I'm not sure. Okay. But we have the volume here, right? So these are longs up in here. They haven't got hurt yet. Not yet. So what I would like to see in a fade, and this is going to be very hard. I'm not saying this is the best trade, but it's very possible. Okay, because remember, 100% net long. Everybody's long. Everybody's long from yesterday. Okay, so and these overnights are long up in here. Perfect scenario. So what I'd like to see is a little push up, right? Break overnight highs, but then come back violently through the open. Now this has to be a big fast move because you got demand zone here. If you come violently through this, it's going to make a lot of people nervous, and we should return. Okay, we should return back to at least yesterday's high, fill the gap. This is the 200-day moving averages here, so that could be cause for another target, but you'd want to work yourself back to 4,000. Now, the demand zone here makes this, I wouldn't call a slam dunk because of this demand. I don't love that demand there. However, very viable. Very viable. Okay. Now, let's talk about the long. Very easy for the long. Okay. What you want to see is, obviously, let's talk about the gap rules, right? Here's your gap fill. All right. We've been having a lot of these, so hopefully I'm drilling in everyone's head. Gap and go, bullish. Right? Fail to fill the gap, go, bullish. Fill the gap and go, bullish. But you have this big level here. Okay? And then finally, not finally, but if it's bearish, you fill the gap, start walking into yesterday's range, and then it just becomes, again, you're in the middle of the chop. Okay? Let's clear away that rule. Let's go to our bullish scenario. Okay? And all I care about, even if we come down here, it doesn't matter. All I care about is this, is if we can push up above this level. Okay, you got a lot of resistance up here. And we hold it higher low. You see the market start firming up, you're going to want to take that long. Target the 50-day moving average right here. That is around 40.57 about. Okay. You have a previous high at 40.74. You could target. I don't know if this breakout happens today, but there is a supply zone all the way up to 40.90. And I know you can't see that, but 40.90, there's a supply. Because this would cause a nice short squeeze up. Okay. A lot of stocks hit very, very key level, like key support levels. I noticed that when I got home yesterday. I was like, whoa, like tons of important stocks that move the market hit to nice right at the support level. It didn't break it. It held it. And now look what the market just did overnight. That was the chance to buy if you're bullish. Okay? But this is the important part, that level. That's the important part. Okay? So the other that's the long, right? But the other short scenario you could just do is this. If you're going to be conservative, you don't want to play this fade if that doesn't happen, right? This, because what also could happen is we can play up here, start to work our way down, and underneath this level start making lower highs, right? If we start just holding here and the market starts to weaken, we're going to go back. We're going to fill the gap and we're going to go back to 4,000. That would be the other conservative short. Like if this doesn't happen off the open, you just want to play this level. That's it. And then if we hang out in here, that would be horrible. We're going to balance in between these two. It's going to be ugly, right? But you want to go, these moves will happen early. Okay? They will happen early, but there is a chance where we could just get caught in the middle of this and just moving in and out here, and it's not a good area. You don't want to be just initiating trades in this middle ping pong area. You don't want to initiate trades. You want to initiate trades here, right? Not anywhere else. And here's even tough because you got a demand zone, but you got this monster. You got the most traded price of the week here, so it's very, the nice one. I'll be honest with you, is probably the long, is easiest trade. Hold above this level, even let the market push up a little bit. Let it push up a little bit to get that pullback and see it firm up. If the market firms up, you are going to rock it. You're going to squeeze the shorts. Okay. Now, you can look at this deposit level on the side here. You can see the value area is here. Okay. That's the most trade. That's the most trades have been happening in this area. You just need to build this up. If we move this most traded price of the week to match, man, and we hold there, you're looking very bullish. Okay. Now let's look at the picture of the Nasdaq. Let's see how this looks, right? Very balanced profile. Beautiful bell curve. That is just a beautiful bell curve. All right. Now, Nasdaq took out all these lows yesterday, right here. Broke it. Came down to the most traded price of this year. This is this green box here. But then what did it do? Made a nice demand zone here. And then we got the same thing here. Okay, now the key level, which is even clearer in the Nasdaq, okay, is 128, 12,800, right here. It's the most traded price of the month and the week. That's clear as a bell to me. Okay, you just want to stay above that. So if you get the Nasdaq holding above 128, you get the ES holding above 40.30, we're going higher. Okay, because the ES is going to take out that big resistance that has not been broken. All right, and then you'll give the opportunity for the Nasdaq, which has been relatively weaker the last two sessions, to make a move. Okay, so that's why I said key levels today in my card that I put up on YouTube. Those are key levels. It tells you right there what we're going to do today. Right? That's why those levels are so important. They drive what my bias is going to be. Okay? The market tells me what the bias is for the day. Right? Very key. Okay? Now, let's just look at our levels, right? We got overnight high. Now look at now again. This is a little more difficult of a fade because of the big level here. Okay? Now, very important. We're 100% net long in the Nasdaq as well. Nasdaq settled here, closed here, all long. All right, you got 100% net long, and you're in the upper portion of the session with volume building out. All right. Now the fade is tougher in this because you got the monster level still there because volatility off the open can just cut through this, which is fine. It can. It's not an easy level to cut through, right? But it can, and you have demand here. Okay, so I do like the long in Nasdaq, right? I'm being honest with you. I do like it. All right, so let's look at this. At the overnight high, overnight low, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. All right. All I care about is this level, 128. That's it. You don't have ping pong in the Nasdaq. You don't have that. You don't have a most traded. You don't have the prices of the month, the most traded price of the month, and the most traded price of the week separated, which can cause ping pong. Okay, you got them the same. It's even more powerful. And more powerful moves happen when they're exactly the same. Okay? So this is the deciding factor for it should be for everybody. Hold 128, right? You got to go long. So let's talk about that, right? And you got a gap, right? Now the gap fill just happens to be through this, right? Now, this is an exact science, right? Just to explain, when I say break a level, hold a level, sometimes it plays games, right? So it's not exact. Like, oh, look, you know, my name's Steve, by the way, but Steve on his channel said that like it has to hold this level. So if you saw it do this, oh my God, it didn't hold it. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. So let's talk about that long, because I'm liking the long. I'm liking the long. All right. So 128 level, right? I said I want to hold it. What does that mean? Holding could be do this, right? Holding could be pushing up, coming down. It could even do this. When I mean holding, it just means that it doesn't stay below it for a while. If it came into this demand zone, right, and the market's strong, and you bounce out of this demand and you hold this level, that's a long, right? You got a target right up here. You got supply here. You got supply here too. So the first target could be 129.19. Then you can go for this 129.50 supply up here. That's even holding the level, because it doesn't matter if you quickly go through it, but if you quickly go above it and hold it, that's a long. What else could happen? Obviously, we could push and go gap and go, but I wouldn't be interested in the gap and go as much. I want some type of pullback. So you could see this too, because these levels work like this too. You could literally bounce, do a little bounce, and then take off as well. So I'm really liking the long. Really liking that long. Okay, this level's everything 128. So 40, 30, and 128 in the NASDAQ, you hold above those levels, go long on futures, the SPY, the Qs, whatever. Pick a stock, pick the strong stock on the board. Okay, now let's look at this. Let's look at the short. Okay, now you do have 100% net long. I'm going to get rid of these. You do have a, now look, we're starting to push up again. Okay, which is fine. If you're really looking for the fade, I would in the Nasdaq. I'm not thinking it's a highly probable play, but you have to look at it. 100% net long overnight inventory. Volume at the top here. Okay, these are longs. Everyone's long from yesterday, from this low. Okay, I'd like to see a push up, come through the open. You short it. You take a target. You take profit right here at this monster level 128. Another profit take right here at this demand zone. Okay, then you work your way down to this demand. Like I said, not my favorite. Not my favorite, but it could be in the cards, okay? My favorites today are longs, but that could definitely be in the play. Now Nasdaq just moved up a little bit, so it broke out of this. It had kind of like a Porsche high here, kind of just extended a little bit. So you have to see. I'm not chasing this thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. You got some resistance up here. So another thing is, if we do get the move in the ES, right? You break out. You can really want to see, if you're going to get short, really see how this contains with these supply zones here. That could be the last stop for the Nasdaq. And then, anybody who's a little bearish, you want to take some profit, you probably could shorten here. Really going to see though. But the long is the name of the game today. Let's look at crude. What do we have on here? Crude definitely made a move. Crude is also got 100%. Let's see here. almost 100% net long itself. We're in supply right now, and there's a weak low right here. Okay, so the most traded price of the week in crude is 72.90. The most traded price of the week was right here. So this area here, you just want to see it hold. So call it $73 a barrel. You just want to see this hold. If this gets broken, you could see a move back down. Take out these single prints, and then you could actually go all the way down here. So I'd be really on the lookout for this weak low. But like I said, if you want to go long crude, if it holds 73, if it comes down back down here, because it's gapping up a little bit, it's in supply. I'd like it to see take out the supply. Ooh, it's a little. Take out the supply, come back down here, hold it, hold it, hold it, higher lows, and you go long. That's what I'd like to see in crude. All right. So let's hit you with the watch list really quickly. Let's just go to the hourly chart, look at some candlesticks just for a sec to see where we're at in these markets. All right, you can see what's happening just with candlesticks, give you a better point of view here before I wrap it up. All right, so here's FOMC, right? We came down here. I got the fib. Now this is the ES, right? So we're above 50% Fibonacci. We're above 61.8. That's usually the last line of defense, is the 61.8. We've been holding above that for multiple hours now, and this is that key level, right? 40.30, 40.26. You gotta hold this. You gotta hold it, right? And for us to go up. So that's another confluence here, right? You've now above the 61.8 retracement level from the FOMC high. As well, you're holding above this level. That's all bullish stuff. Okay, that's all bullish. Got this resistance of 40.54 here with the 50-day moving average. So like I said, that could be your target. All right, so that's how it looks there. Now let's look at the NASDAQ. So very simple today, guys. Very simple what I'm looking at. Let's look at this NASDAQ together. Now the NASDAQ, from the FOMC high down to the lows, it's not as strong as the ES. Okay, here's the 50% retracement right here. It's finding resistance there. We have a trend line finding resistance. It's confluence, right here. So not as strong as the ES. Okay, here's the supply I talked about. Supply zone here and a supply zone here. That's what's up above us. Okay, we are above this key level of 128. That's the level we need to hold, right? So just in candlesticks, you know, we came down here, double bottomed, and now ripped above this key level and holding it, but we're at the 50% retracement, right? So the long in the NASDAQ is nice because of this level, but you do have supply up in here. There could be a little bit of tough sledding. I mean, definitely a long up into here, but then a little bit of tough sledding. ES has a little nice move, right? ES doesn't have that overhead supply. So remember, over 128 in the NASDAQ, over 430 in the ES, you got to go long, right? So, but you can see the NASDAQ's a little weaker. Hasn't retraced as much. The last 2 days in tech were very weak. So everyone's got the game plan now, okay? Whoever's watching, you got the game plan. That's gonna be it for me. All right. You've got our key levels today, okay? Give me a comment, like, or subscribe. Share with other traders if you can. Any questions, please send a comment if you get confused about anything I'm saying. All right, but good luck today. Stay green. I'll try to do an update. I'll try to do a short. I've been posting in the community of my channel. I don't even know if you get notifications for that or not. Let me know if you get a notification, or you have to actually go to the community tab of my channel to see it. I've been posting my shorts there because I know you don't get notification of shorts. Just trying to grow my channel because shorts get more views. So that's about it from that. All right, so everybody have a good day. I'll update if I see something up to note, and I'll talk to you guys later.